Nicky Devlin, Ayr United club captain, and you're watching Quill 18.
Ahoo!
Excellent. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I appreciate it.
Hey you folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Football Manager 2017, Season 2 of Ayr United. In between episodes here, I played our Championship Cup 4th round game against Bala, a team from the Welsh Premier League. And I had scouted them out and checked out the league, and yeah, it was a lower tier league, and I figured things would go pretty well. So I actually played a lot of our kind of B-teamers, a lot of the people who were lacking match sharpness. I was able to, for example, start Craig McGuffey, started Alan Forrest, and a few things like that, just to try to get a little bit more sharpness going on there. You can see we've got a good number of our substitutes now are of 80% match sharpness, whereas they really weren't before, which is nice to see. Still a little unsure as to what I should be doing with Craig McGuffey in terms of how often to play him and how often to start him and this and that. I mean, his performance has been fantastic. 7.36 performance. Sure as heck beats both my other two strikers, but it might be because, you know, he's playing more against less competitive teams, so he's having more opportunities to do amazing things. He also is not playing full matches, so he tends to be at higher energy for more of the match. But I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, maybe we should be doing more with him, especially, you know, rather than playing our guy on loan quite as often as he is. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, today we're going to be playing against Dundee United. And Dundee United, currently 9th overall. We are 7th overall. Still a lot of close scores over here. Still disappointed, a little salty that we didn't beat Queen of the South previously, because it would have really done a tremendous jump over here. I really want to end up in the playoffs for promotion over here. Not really expecting necessarily a win, but we're really expecting to come out. Board only expects to come out mid-table, but I'm hoping for a promotion playoff, certainly, out of all this. So we're going to see how that goes. So yeah, that's who we're going to be starting today. Kind of our normal composition over here. I think not too much has changed. I did move Tony Ralston over here instead of playing as a defensive fullback. I'm going to play him as a wingback, which is a little bit more aggressive. I mean, they're still set to defense, but the difference between the two is the wingback will go a little further, cross from deep, whereas the fullback, is it literally the same? Huh, just a little further forward? I guess so. Just it's a little bit more aggressive, but still defensively minded, and I think it's going to maybe just help fill in these gaps a wee bit more. There also might be some possibility where the winger goes in and the wing back moves up a little bit more. I don't think that's going to be a bad thing, especially since Tony Ralston's pretty good over here, and he's got great speed. I mean, these physical traits over here on Tony are stupendous. What's this guy? On loan from Celtic. 18 years old. I wonder if we should just try to sign him. I mean, I know it's not the transfer period right now, but maybe we should just try to sign this guy. I kind of like that idea. Okay, that'll be something to consider later. All right, let's continue on over here anyway. We are on an unbeaten run. I mean, we haven't been winning nonstop, but I guess it's only looking at the Championship League for that unbeaten run, which is true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games unbeaten, and only one of those is a draw, actually, so that's not a terrible little record for us. So, and we're going to be sitting Craig McGuffey today, which may or may not be what I'm looking for, but I don't know. I mean, he's so good. He's got so much potential. I probably should just be subbing him every time, but it's a little too late now. We're a slight favorite over here, which is nice to see, although every time that happens, we seem to do quite poorly. Maybe because when we do that, we end up with, we play more aggressively, and maybe that backfires on us. I don't know. We are on a streak. I'm going to be assertive. What happened? No, get revenge. That's going to lead to the wrong things. Go out there and impress me. Okay, morale's pretty good. I'm not going to go and spend too many individual talks. We are in our white and black kits over here today, which always makes me very happy. Andy Gagan wearing the captain's armband today. That's going to be A-okay. Oh, an groin injury right away on the other side. Bad for them, good for us. We don't have the possession game going on right now. Oh, I need to switch this back to extended highlights. Had it set the key for my in-between game stuff. Gary Fraser picking up a yellow card as well. It's okay, he hasn't picked up a whole lot of yellow cards there. Indirect free kick. Our goalkeeper actually got a yellow card last episode, or last game, my away game. I don't actually know what caused that to happen. I think he might have gone out. Do you get a yellow card if you're a goalkeeper and you go out and handle the ball outside of the box? That might be true. Like, you can use your hands, obviously, if you're the goalkeeper. But he might have run out to, like, here and picked up the ball. And I don't know if that's, like, against the rules or something of that nature. I'm not sure. Fraser taking a long shot, which delivers. Beautiful arc on that, too. Just lobbed over the hands of the goalkeeper. Really nice. As is, this would move us into 5th place if we come away with a win here. But, of course, I suspect the other matches that are going on right now, there's a lot of draws. So a lot of people looking to earn 1 point as opposed to 3. So as other people get ahead, then we might find ourselves not ending up quite as high in the table, but still not too bad. Although we ourselves want to come away with a win here. We really want to win. I'm still very disappointed that we didn't get a win against the Queen of the South at home here. So hopefully this time, that was, I don't know what Ryan Stevenson was doing there, but it was kind of stupid all around. Really stupid. Holy crap, this has almost cost us a massive, massive problem here as a result of a really wonky play that started with Ryan Stevenson. A really, like, an incorrect pass. I think you might have seen someone where there wasn't anyone. Vincent LeBaron gets taken down there. Hopefully he's not injured. He did look like he grabbed his leg for a second. I mean, a free kick is going to be a yellow card on the other side. Yeah, we're up to 3 yellow cards at this point. We're only 24 minutes into this match. How's our pass completion? Only 63%, and our possession is a little bit low. Since we're ahead a little bit here, I think what we might do, because it's feeling like things are being a little difficult, I'm going to drop down to standard over here. I'm not going to go to counter necessarily, but maybe we'll just like take a bit of a breather over what things are going on. This is also going to be a little bit less aggressive closing down as well, since this referee seems to be a little happy with the yellow cards. So we'll see if we can bring that down a notch if possible. Yeah, I think that's all we need to do. But we'll just bring it down just one notch of aggression. Crane tries to throw it into LeBaron, doesn't get there, but he gets back over to Fraser, to Stevenson, who just knocks it back to Andy Gigging. Who was that a shot? I don't know. Daryl Magat's going to be able to stop it from going completely into our end, but it looks like overall that aggression stopped. But we find ourselves with the ball again in our end. Gary Fraser, the strawberry, moves it up to Thomas. If you don't know why I call it strawberries, because like fries is the French word for strawberry, and apparently that's actually where like the Fraser name and Clan Fraser comes from. It's all like tied into the whole like. And I mean, I don't think it's spelled exactly the same. I'm not sure. Well, I know it's not spelled the same as fries. I don't know how Fraser and that clan is spelled, but I don't know if this guy here is the same spelling. But anyway, I think it ties back to the sort of Norman invasion and strawberries. What I've understood is there's some overlap there, so that's why I'm nicknaming him the Strawberry. It would be better probably if he had red hair or something, and I don't think he does, but still. So how are we doing? 30 minutes into the match. Possession is evened up at this point, which is great. Our pass completion rate's gotten a little bit better. I think one of the other things, too, that happens when you go to a slightly more conservative play style, there might be, well, I don't know, I was going to say, maybe there are fewer risky passes, but at the same time, I think there's a little bit more direct play, slightly more long passes, as you move towards a more of a counter or defensive mentality. I'm not sure. Daryl Magat just buying himself a little bit of time, moving the ball away. Strawberry sends it back to Crane. Crane's got a couple options to move it forward, but he chooses to go wide to Andy Giggin instead. Everyone's quite far forward. We've only got one person hanging back, despite the fact that they're both strikers are back here. Yeah, like I'm wondering, maybe playing these guys as wing backs is wrong. Maybe they should be sitting as full backs instead, because maybe, like I expected them with the wing backs to maybe move forward and carry the ball forward, sure, but when we're on the offense, not necessarily sit so deep. I mean, I know that people without the ball can move a lot faster than the ones with, but jeez. Thomas gets it wide to Vincent LeBaron. Is he going to be able to get it to the middle? He does. Fraser doesn't try one of his patented long shots. Instead, Ryan Stevenson does. And it goes well above the net. Not even a corner kick there. I don't know. Being said, Gary Fraser is having a great game at 8.1 rating. Looking very good, despite the fact that he's acquired a yellow card. And Giggins sends it forward to Ryan Stevenson. Stevenson sends it forward to Thomas, who tries a long shot directly on target and beats the goalkeeper there. From was it just inside the box or just outside the box? Basically on that line, which probably has a name. The goal box line? Probably not that. Beautiful shot over there. Yeah, Gary Fraser did get that goal in before, too. Such a good result happening right now. I am indeed pleased. I'm going to... You know what? Screw it. I'm going to be passionate. I'm happy about this. Oh, you're looking complacent. Complacency is bad. I should have maybe said something about don't get complacent. We're now 2 points ahead. We could go and look to be more defensive, park the bus a little bit more, but that's okay. You know what? I'm really disappointed that I didn't have Craig McGuffey in here. I would love to do an early sub for Craig McGuffey to get him a little bit more playtime experience. But I mean, I can't get complacent either. Like, there's a risk there that I am, but we're doing pretty well right now. Pass completions up to 75%, which is nice to see. We're out shooting them 8-1. All right, I hadn't realized that actually we're dominating on the... our defense is doing well. At halfway through the game, 8 shots on is pretty good, but it's not, like, insane. It's pretty good, though. But what's insane is only allowing 1 shot against us, which is nice. And it was off target to start off with. So our defense is really cracking today, and that's nice to see. Whoa! All right, get away without a card there. I was a little bit worried. Oh, it said picture-perfect tack at the bottom, so I guess it worked out okay. Another goal kick for us. Lovely. Well, what we could look into doing is doing a few more substitutes for people that are still not all the way up on their match sharpness. Ross Doherty, that sort of thing. Ooh, stern telling off. That's going to be okay. We could... oh, there's 2 Frasers. The tail of 2 strawberries. We could bring off Gary Fraser a little sooner so that he, you know... Because I don't know if this is a thing, but I... Oh, my gosh! Oof, that was scary. I don't know if that's a thing, but I always imagine that people with a yellow card then start to play a little bit more passively. That foul was luckily outside of the goal box, so it's not going to be a penalty. That was damn close. Ooh, nice angle there. Not being covered, but doesn't lead to anything. This Mackey guy's had the groin injury the entire game, but it doesn't seem to be slowing down too much, which is nice to see. So yeah, I'll probably do a substitute at 60 minutes. Mostly, not as much to, like, relieve endurance. They've gotten a lot more shots on recently. So we're going to move into more of a counter mentality. They may have made some changes that's allowing them to play a little bit better. But our people are also getting tired. And if we're going to sub in some people, they're probably not going to be, you know, as strong people. So we'll just play a little bit more cautiously here. Wow. This is getting insanely dangerous. Insanely dangerous. I mean, 2-goal lead is obviously not unbeatable, but I'm still feeling relatively secure because we've got a margin for error. Yellow card there. Okay. So we're about 60 minutes in. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to pull out Gary Fraser, and we're going to replace him with... I'm going to bring in Ross Doherty here. First of all, he's complained a little bit before that he didn't get enough play. He was complaining about that between games, and I told him that don't worry, there's still a lot of football left, but I didn't promise him anything. That being said, he's going to be a lot happier if he sees play. His morale is really good right now because he was part of that 4-0 win, but I'm going to bring him in again here to do that. Ross, what's your most comfortable role? You're pretty fine in here. I might still go... I don't think we need 2 ball-winning midfielders, although Andy is probably going to get replaced at some point. You can play sort of a central midfielder in... Yeah, support role I think is going to be okay at this point. Just a little bit more jack-of-all-tradesy, a little bit less roaming, which will actually probably solidify our position in the midfield a little bit more. I feel like with our tactic, we really don't want a box-to-box midfielder, but I did sort of promise that. And it hasn't... It's not like... So I promised Gary Fraser when I recruited him that I'd play him as a box-to-box midfielder. And honestly... He's actually done pretty good. I mean, we can't complain. He's done all... Whoa! Offside, okay. Sorry about that sound. He's done pretty good for the team. His performance overall has been all right. I mean, he got this goal here, and that can't complain about that. So, I guess maybe it does work. I mean, maybe the fact that he can roam in a more open midfield is good. He keeps going up enough to take that power shot. I think it's that power shot trait of his that really makes sense. Like, he keeps moving forward enough to take one of his long bombs. Every now and again they work, and again, I like the fact that it just means that our opponents have to be a little bit more varied and less complacent about their defense. Especially with the work ball into box instruction, because we're going to have a little bit more variation in our shots than you might expect. Into Doherty. Doherty, I think, tries a shot, but I think it bounced off one of our own players. Yeah, that's why it's going to be a goal kick as opposed to anything else. It's a little disappointing. But there you go. I can't believe they never replaced that guy with a groin injury. I mean, come on! That's gotta suck. Clearly it's not like the worst of all of them, because otherwise you'd just be out completely. He's playing through the knock. His condition's still pretty good, I think. Oh! Just like that. We only have a 1-goal lead at this point. So, do we stay on counterplay, or do we turn the aggression back on? Again, in theory, we're home, and we should be, you know, a little bit stronger, but things have really gone not so good in the second half. I should probably do some yelling from the sidelines. Morale's dropping a little bit here. We're not going to replace Vincent, but let's bring in Tom Pope. Fresh legs, good striker. Let's see if we can get something else going on. We'll hold off on our final substitution probably for another 10 minutes or so to see what we can do. I think I'm still going to be mostly on counter, because again, to win at this point, we just don't need, you know, don't get scored on. We don't need to score again. But counter, I mean, we still have we'll take plenty of shot opportunities. But yeah, Dundee United went from like 1 shot on to 8 shots on pretty dramatically. We've gotten a few more, but now we don't have a crazy lead. Because we had 8 shots at the half, and now we're halfway through the second half. Actually, more than halfway, I suppose, and we've only taken 4 more shots. What the hell was that? You incompetent buffoons. That was the worst pass attempt I've ever seen. Or maybe the pass was fine, but the pickup wasn't. Something didn't go right. Oh my god, and they keep getting corner kicks over here. Jesus. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. If it ties up, we'll definitely go back to more aggression here. Because, again, like, we should, in theory, be slightly in a better position to score. I think we might replace Ryan Stevenson at this point. Again, he's got the yellow. I don't want him to get a second one because that would be kind of crummy. And we'll do that. I mean, it is a little bit weird that we're not, you know, kind of replacing our defenders while holding a more defensive line, but I think that's going to be okay. All right. Oh, free kick. Oh, this Riley guy might get a card. It's 2 and 2 in the yellows. Okay. And 2 minutes added time. It's probably nothing else is going to happen. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Lamy does get the ball away, which is great. It's golden head. But not far enough. They're still in the offense. And Savage here, this guy... Like, he keeps leaping out for the ball like that and taking it. It's a little bit high risk, but it works out nicely. We don't have to worry about rebounds. You get control. You get to start an offensive play here. We got a minute and a half while being on offense. LeBaron doesn't really get the ball under control as quickly as we might like, but he's got a lot of passing targets. He decides to pass quite far forward, which surprises me. I don't know why he didn't move it to the midfield. I mean, I realize that we have, you know, the target man over there, but that was a pretty psycho pass. The target man and the Ngosh, but like we had a couple people in the midfield that were wide open and could have probably passed with considerably more success and from a little closer up. I don't have more direct passing on. I mean, I don't have a short game either. There's Savage doing that, you know, going out there for the ball. Okay, a minute left to go. I could go on like full defensive, like time wasting, but I don't think we're gonna have a chance to put in a command change at this point anyway. It's going to be okay. All right, Paul Carney gets the ball to Doherty, who moves it forward instantly. Like, I'm surprised they don't try to, like, possess the ball a little bit and then move it up. I mean, we haven't told people, you know, to go for more possession or anything, but they're playing at such a high, crazy tempo here that it really surprises me with the counter mentality. It feels like they take more risk than they need to. Fortis gets a nice... Ooh, would have been a nice cross. I think it might have... No, I guess it didn't bounce off anyone because it's going to be a goal kick as opposed to a corner. That is going to be it. A 2-1 victory. That one goal and then the play afterwards started to feel less good. I would kind of want to be like, listen, the second half, yeah, Jekyll and Hyde, what is this? You fantastic first half, that second half showing was unacceptable. Yeah, confused and demotivated. Well, I'm sorry, but it's true. I mean, I'm sure some of you were great in the second half, but others were maybe not quite as much. We have an away game in, what, 4 days? Okay, that's not super bad. Stevenson impressive. Oh, by the way, in September, we did get the Manager of the Month award. Ayr maintains unbeaten record. And in fact, gets another win out of that. What does it do for our standings? We're now 5th, and we're tied, really, here. I mean, 1 goal diff, too, as well. I mean, goal diff, I don't think comes up as often in the league because the actual point differential tends to be more significant. But still, like, we're clearly neck and neck with Kilmarnock, who came down from the Premier team. They're clearly... They got to do some rebuilding, that team. They're clearly not doing as well as they could be. Hibernian continues to just, like, pile on more and more crazy-ass points. It's insane. We have, what, is it 36? We play against everyone 4 times since 9 other teams. Yeah, so there's 36 games in total that we're going to be playing. So we're just over a quarter of the way through the season, or nearly at 1/3 of the way through, right? At 12, we'll be at 1/3 of the way through the season. And so there's a lot left to play. You know, certainly a lot left to play, but we're positioning ourselves pretty well. I was starting to doubt it. You know, earlier on in the season, I was really we just lost 4 championship games in a row right at the start of the season, sitting dead last in the table. And I was like, I have more faith in that. I feel like we got some really good players. I think a big part of it was the tactic that we're playing is quite different from last year. We didn't have the familiarity up. We're starting to really lock down on our familiarity. We're not even all the way there yet. You can see the control mentality is not there, and the tempo and width. I suspect if we go to standard, the mentality will then become fluid. The tempo also becomes fluid because tempo is very tied into mentality. So we feel very comfortable playing standard. We don't feel as comfortable playing in control. The other thing we can do is make sure that one of these is set to, like, say, a counter, just to start training that up. It looks like the counter mentality is actually good. It's just control we don't feel comfortable in. That's probably one of the reasons we've actually had a harder time with the matches where we're actually supposed to be better. It's just because we don't actually play that much control mentality and or practice that much control mentality, so our familiarity was less good, so people make more mistakes. But, so we'll keep training this, I suppose, and keep developing that. That's going to be a-okay. Yeah, what's our next game? Kilmarnock away, so we won't be televising that one. And the next one you guys are going to see is going to be St. Mirren at home. Worth noting that the Challenge Cup quarterfinal is going to be against Wraith. Now, at this point, we are... Challenge Cup quarterfinal. We have exceeded expectations for the Challenge Cup. We were just expected to reach the 4th round. We've done better than that. So board confidence is at 67%. Wraith is within our league. They're doing well. You know, they're second in the league. But I mean, there's not that much of a difference at this point. Now that we finally got our stuff down, that is, I feel like we could probably do a pretty good run at that. Now, when is that going to happen? Challenge Cup finals. Okay, it's not until mid-November, and we're mid-October right now, so there's certainly room for, like, injuries to develop. Something like that could happen. It's also going to be an away game, which is going to be a little bit harder over here. So, you know, I'd say the odds are slightly against us in that Wraith game, but it would be really wonderful if we could pull off a win there. Quarterfinal, I don't think, since it's away, I'm not gonna televise that one. If we get to the semis, then maybe even if it's an away game, maybe we'll show that one. Because, you know, when you start getting to the late stages of the tournament, then, you know, people will make the trips away, but maybe not for the quarterfinals. We'll see. So yeah, we'll be watching St. Mirren. After that, you guys will see a game versus Morton, and after that, it'll probably be a home game against Wraith over here. Well, I mean, at this point, okay, I was starting to feel, again, pretty bad about the season. Things have improved. You can see our league position crawling up there. We sort of figured things out. It's not like we've made that many changes. I think people are just getting more comfortable with this, and that's going to be okay. But also, I think we're going to do this. I think we might start to upset Jamie Thomas, but I think that's just the reality we're going to have to deal with. I mean, he's on loan. It's not like we need a long-term investment in him. I think I do need to play Craig McGuffey some more. I really want to develop him to a superstar player, and he's been doing so well for us. So well. Again, his, like, actual, you know, ability rating's not quite as high, but the results have been through the freaking roof. Nicky Devlin's been doing great for us, too. Like, it's so funny. He's got a low rating. He did do poorly in a game a little bit ago. 5.9. That's pretty bad, but overall he hasn't been doing too badly. Because that is the average. This is the average over the last 5 games, right? Not like what he did literally in the last one. Yeah, 8.1, 7.6, yeah. So he's been picking it up a little bit more. And Tony Ralston hasn't been performing that much either. But part of it, too, is we don't put as many dependents on Nicky Devlin. Nicky Devlin, we just put him on, like, complete fullback, super mega defense mode. So, you know, he doesn't have a whole lot to do. And therefore, what he does do, he does fine. Whereas we ask Tony to do a little bit more stuff, you know, pass a little bit more aggressively, try to cross a little bit more. And so if none of those, they don't all go perfectly, it looks a little bit worse on record. But I think he's still a good... I mean, Tony's only 18 years old. And he's got the physical stats of a god. We really should lock this guy down. What's his work rate? See, his work rate's only 9. That's probably the biggest problem, is that he is... he doesn't necessarily train as long as possible. Refuse loan. Did we... He'd wanted us to terminate his loan, and he said no. That's a bit of a shame. Is he being tutored by anyone? Oh, you can't tutor someone that's on loan. Because if we tutor him with someone who's got a really good work rate, I think... that's mental, right? I think he will adopt that work rate. Now, it should ideally be someone in the same position, I think. I'm not sure, actually, about that. So, part of the problem is we might have a good mentor for Tony. But let's say, if it was possible to tutor him with Ross Doherty here, he might be able to pick up some of this work rate. I don't know if that's a thing, but it might be something that's available. And Ross is like a defensively minded player at some point. Hell, he can even technically play defensive right. He's not very comfortable in it. But, you know, he does tackling. That's what we we play him in the midfield for, right? Tackling. Yeah, 14. When's the next transfer window? Schedule. Events. List. Transfer window opens January the 2nd. I mean, we could negotiate for Tony now, and he would just officially join the team later on. I don't know, I'm going to think about it. I don't want to, like, hit the button yet and find out, like, I'm doing something terribly wrong here. When's your contract expire? It expires, okay, in May of this year, regardless. Oh, wait, that's the loan. He's actually on contract. Oh! Oh, shit. Tony gets paid $2,000 a week. Okay, so he is properly, like, regarded as a super good player. Now, we're not allowed to pay him $2,000 a week, and almost certainly he would want to pay Rise to come with us. We might be able to offer him just a bunch of money lump sum up front to get him to join. We'd have to promise him key player status, which honestly he would have. I'm going to think about it. I'll let you know next time. Thanks for watching, folks. See you then.